Today, before we get started working in Illustrator to do our self-portrait, I wanted to go through and show you a little prep work that has to be done before we get started. So in this case, we're going to be going back and using Photoshop for just a quick minute. So what I'm going to have us do is do a process in which we're going to basically accent the outlines of the photograph that you've taken. So that'll help you later on be able to create the line work that's going to develop the piece. So what in Photoshop, we're going to go through this. It's a few step process here to get it ready to bring into Illustrator. So what we're going to do first is once we're in Photoshop, we're going to go to File, and then we're going to go to Open. And what I want to do is I'm going to locate the photograph that we've taken. So what I did is I put them into the assignment drop in the public folder. So I want to do is get us over into that area. So I'm going to go to my computer, I'm going to go to the public folder, I'm going to go to the assignment drop, and then the art folder. Now here there's a few steps to get to, so just follow along with where I'm going. It is going to be in my folder here, and then it's going to be located in the DAD photos, which is going to be a digital art and design. So if you click on that, and then I put them under Illustrator drawings so I can break that up separately. Now, inside of here, you have these IMG photos. That's just the camera name for them. So you can go ahead and locate your photo in here. Now, if it pops up like this, remember, you can always go back over to the menu and locate the large or medium icons just so you can see which one is which. So these are the ones that I've uploaded so far. The rest of you guys will have yours uploaded shortly. All right, so I found mine. Here it is. So I'm going to go ahead and open this one, okay? And once that uploads, you'll see here I am. So I did, this image is just a straightforward shot. And so what I want to do is I want to create the contour lines that are going to help us be able to work in Illustrator a little bit smoother. So in order to do so, once we are set, we're going to go back over. I'm going to go move my history menu out of the way. In fact, I'm just going to move it, get out of it. We want to make sure that we have our layers set up. And so you can see, here's my background. So the background image itself, we want to keep that, all right, because we want to maintain all of our color that we have in here. It's going to help us later on when we have to choose colors. All right, so I'm going to duplicate my background layer, okay, which we've done a number of times in Photoshop. And so my background layer is going to stay the same. My background copy layer is the one that I'm going to go through and edit. So to do this, it's a very quick editing process. All I'm doing is I'm going to go to Filter and go to my Filter Gallery. Now what pops up is this window. What I want to look at is doing a photocopy version of mine. Okay, so I'm going to click under the Sketch menu, go to Photocopy. All right, now you'll see nothing is really showing up, and that's only because a small segment of the image is actually being recognized here. So I'm going to go back and zip back out here so you can see the whole picture of me. Now, here's where you come, where you want to do a little bit of manipulation over here in the editing. You're trying to get a pretty hard line going around the outside of all the major components of it. Right now, a lot of this stuff is pretty light. The ones I'm looking for is sort of the bottom of the nose, my nostrils, the laugh line, my lips, the outside of my face, those kind of things I want to accentuate a little more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jack my detail up. It's going to be different for everybody, but I'm going to set mine to be, I guess, about 15 or so. If your range is anywhere from 10 to 20, that should be probably good. And then my darkness level, I'm going to bring that up to, and I think I'll do that at probably 20. 25 should be okay on that. So this is what I have. And you'll see that the outlines now become pretty hard around the outside. This shows a lot of our contour that we're going to need to be able to draw in later on. So that's why I wanted to make sure that those were accentuated properly so that when we bring it into Illustrator, it's going to be able to be recognized. Okay, once that's set, I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Now in this menu, you'll see that that modification's been changed, but I've lost all the color. So my next step is to go back into the background copy and then go back into my layer options like we've done in the past. And I'm just going to do an overlay. What that overlay does is it will automatically bring back the color, but it will still maintain those harsh lines that I'm really looking for. Okay, so once that's done, you're done. What you're going to want to do at this point is go to File and then go to Save As. And then instead of saving it in where you picked it up at in the Illustrator drawings, what I want you to do is to save it in your drive. So wherever that's safe, it's going to be My Pictures or whatever, you can go ahead and save it there. All right, now with the next step before we go ahead and save anything else, we want to make sure that the format changes back to JPEG. Illustrator can take Photoshop documents, but it just takes a whole lot of memory that's really not necessary because we're not going to be using those layers in here. So you can just go ahead and save it as a JPEG and then make sure that you name it. So in my case, I'm just going to name it Edgeley, and then I'll save it into my drive. Okay, so that's where I want to put it. So I'm just going to go save. It's going to go through my options. Quality is fine. Really, we're just using it for reference, so you don't have to worry about anything else as far as the changes to that. All right, when you're done with it, that is all you're going to be doing for for Photoshop, and then that will prepare us for being able to drag it into Illustrator.